fight between Stevie Darnell, who replaced Cecil McKenzie, who was 6-1-0 from San Jose in California, as the opponent for Antoine Byrd, the number 9 ranked USBA super middleweight. This is a fight over 10 rounds. We're going to pick up the action in the 3rd round right now. Our commentators once again are Sam Smith and Bob Spagnola.
He's a little bit cautious here in the 3rd, waiting for his opening.
That's the thing about Byrd. It's just his style. He could have a guy down twice in one round. He's going to come out backing up and working behind the jab. He's down in the pocket there, fighting a taller guy, and he wants Darnell to come to him. He's having it all his own way, and there the hook again hurts Stevie Darnell.
Byrd inside with the left-right combinations. Again, the left hook has been a big weapon for him, and he follows that, of course, with the right hand as well. Both are southpaws, and Darnell has taken some big punishment. Warned now by Max Balt to stop holding. By the way, Darnell's wife, Layla, watching back in the Livonia, Michigan area. Wife of 3 years, while 5 boys are watching their pop in the Los Angeles and the Cleveland area, and that, of course, is Antoine Byrd.
Stevie's trying to slow him down, pin him to the ropes with that right jab, but Byrd's quickness and lateral movement's taking that away from him, and he's landing his own jab at will right here.
You can see as we approach the midway part of this 3rd round, almost a bloody mess getting started here for Darnell. From the nose, a slight cut on the cheek, and one just inside the eye. And now the referee is warning again for Darnell.
Stevie Darnell's got a lot of pride, and other times I've seen him in fights where he's having a tough time with guys. He isn't afraid to take advantage of a few of the rules.
He has been known in some sparring to bite a little and kick and scream and do other things.
On, scratch. But he's a gamester, Sam. There's no doubt about that.
Well, he's going to have to claw and scratch to get back in this fight, because quite obviously Antoine Byrd, who's picked up a couple of big wins under new trainer Dub Huntley, has got his game well in gear at the moment. Darnell just wants to brawl with him to take it away from him.
Can't be pushing.
That's a warning for a push now. So referee Max Balt has gone pretty much through the record books, or at least the rule book, and given Darnell 2 warnings at best. Byrd just missed with another right hand. Oh, he comes back with a left-right combination. Another one just misses on Darnell. Cut on the right cheek of Darnell, opening and oozing blood a little more now.
Stevie Darnell seems in slow motion against Byrd here. The quickness of a fighter is hard to measure, Sam, but you can sure see it out there.
Antoine Byrd, at the age of 30, says, I don't want to particularly call it a comeback, but he said George Foreman and Larry Holmes, what they did to come back and fight, and obviously make some big money, certainly motivated him to get back in the gym. Right now, Darnell wants to go on the big bag and punch away on Byrd.
Okay, wait. Come back, wait.
And there's a bell for the 3rd round. So both fighters a well-deserved 1-minute rest, and Darnell a beaten man as far as looks are concerned across the way. Antoine Byrd has to try to get the fight that he wants back. And Bob, that brings the question, how difficult is it when a guy suddenly gets into this brawling style to get it back the way you want to fight? More of a boxing style for Byrd.
Well, Byrd's having his own way of it regardless of what style it is right now, Sam, but he's content to completely control the fight. And Stevie, he's sitting here coming in trying to work. There's double jabs by Byrd, and he misses the left hand after it, but trying to loop that in. But he's just got Stevie controlled, and Stevie's in the corner asking what round it is.
So it, as Byrd once again took some punishment, but dealt out most of it in round number 3 as we head for the 4th round.
That combination at the end of the round, the best work for Stevie Darnell in this fight thus far, Sam.
On the left in the red, white, blue, Stevie Darnell. On the right, Antoine Byrd in the aqua. Byrd fighting well with a 10-8 round with a standing 8 count of Darnell in the 2nd, and then winning a 10-9 round easily in the 3rd. Darnell, to his credit, gamely fighting on, though, despite the nicks, bruises, and bumps about the face. And some solid punches that he's absorbed from Byrd.
He's got to get that head down, move that a little bit. He's slowed Byrd down and landed some of his own good right jabs there and pinched him on the corners and trying to rough him up a little bit.
You know, an interesting fact is that both of these fighters, their last fight was with a guy by the name of Darrell Van Horn. No, not Darren Van Horn, but Darrell. A 10-round draw for Darnell and a solid 6-round win for Antoine Byrd.
Yeah, Darrell Van Horn, a quick-handed fighter. Darnell was way ahead in that fight, I was told by Brad Lally, but he tired towards the end of it, but he assured me he was in better condition for this fight.
He's going to have a Teflon skin before it's over because Byrd is tattooing him. Well, he kind of turns that right side of his face and really taking the punishment of that left and right jabs that Byrd is being able to throw. Halfway through the 4th round. Virgil Hill defends his WBA light heavyweight championship today in our World Championship Boxing Series against Adolfo Washington. That's the main event coming up on the Cedric Kushner Sports Network. All brought to you by our friends at Corona Extra.
See Byrd resting a little bit in this round. Laying in there, he realized the way that referee's taking control of this fight. He's a friend of Byrd. He's not going to let any rough stuff go on the inside. And that jab, that right jab is hitting Stevie Darnell like a pole axe.
Well, I tell you, that's almost just like a straight punch on a reverse. I mean, if you're a right-handed, that's how hard that right hand is hitting. And he's a left-hander and throwing it as a jab. Snapping that thing out there.
He's got Stevie moving right into it.
Darnell, suffice to say, he is lunging with everything he does. And as soon as Byrd continually gets an avenue to step to the right side with that lunge, he can really clock him with either a left or right hand.
Stevie Darnell had his forearm under the throat as Byrd trying to rough him up here. The referee came into his rescue. He's going to start taking points from Stevie if he keeps up these kind of tactics.
Which probably will be academic the way the fight is going, but certainly fans will not enjoy that at all. So Antoine Byrd, a couple of words with the referee, Max Walt. And referee Max Walt goes across the way, and across over there, Brad Lally giving Mr. Walt a demonstration of what Byrd might be doing as far as the holding that he is doing on his man in the corner, Stevie Darnell. Darnell, again, they're kind of hacking away on some of those nicks and cuts and bruises that he has absorbed through the first 4 rounds of this fight here in Fargo, North Dakota. Good-looking Steve Darnell from Livonia, Michigan, 28-year-old youngster out of the ring for 3.5 years. Going to school, went to a private school in Madonna College up in Livonia, Michigan. Getting a 2-year degree from the community college, but he's getting an education from Antoine Byrd today. As Byrd, fighting out of Los Angeles, California, has had control of this one. As a good overhead shot. How about that one? Is that pretty or what? From the Fargodome here in Fargo, North Dakota.
Corona Extra.
And this is round 5. Dan Smith along with Bob Spagnola.
Byrd spoke with the referee in between rounds. He said, "Ref, I hear you keep warning this guy, but when are you going to do something? Keeps taking these liberties with me."
I don't hear the cash registers clicking over there and the points deducted. Byrd, I mentioned, a very successful amateur career. 84-10, 82 national Golden Gloves, lost in the finals. This, big right uppercut. Darnell took it and still stands. Wow, what a shot by Byrd.
A series of right uppercuts and hooks by Byrd to start this round. Got Stevie Darnell stepping in post hold. And there Byrd, for the first time in the fight, tries to take advantage of the quick score on the break. Something Stevie's been doing. Stevie's right back to work, and just nothing on his punches like what Antoine Byrd's got for him.
Break on, come on, break on.
Again, Byrd plagued with the rumors. His career was going downhill. He lost his legs. He had some drug problems, which again he emphatically denied he ever had any problems with that. He said he just lost his enthusiasm to fight, and I guess Holmes, along with Musgrove and Little, was taken right out of him. But fighting much better here this afternoon, despite a very unorthodox, I guess that's the kindest way I can say it, style of Steve Darnell.
But he sure knows shortage of guts here, Stevie Darnell.
Uh-oh, now we're on the other side with a warning from Maxwell. A holding warning on Byrd.
Stevie Darnell's just in here double tough, giving it all he's got, Sam. He's outsped here. He's outgunned.
Combination by Darnell. Rather weakly thrown out there, and he had to eat a couple of left hands thrown by Antoine Byrd. Byrd on the ropes. Darnell, as has been the posture of the fight the last couple of rounds, keeps him on the ropes.
Darnell again tries to steal him on the break there, Sam, but Stevie's doing whatever he's got to do. Try to make a fight of this.
I made mention of the successful amateur career that Byrd might have had. 73-12 for Darnell, three-time Michigan champion, national PAL champion in 82. Olympic trials lost to Frank Tate, as a matter of fact, in 84. Tate, of course, the rest of its history, went on to win the gold medal in the Olympics.
Yeah, coming up in the area of Michigan, as Stevie did, he certainly had an opportunity to fight a lot of good fighters, both in the amateurs and in the Kronk gym, where he's trained under the watchful eye of Luther Burgess. Brad Lally.
Closing seconds of this, the fifth round, as again it's still all Antoine Byrd.
But he has slowed Byrd down a little bit here, Sam. I guess.
Crowd seems to be appreciating so far the first 5 rounds of this scheduled 10-rounder. Again, mostly all Antoine Byrd doing pretty much what he wants to, but you cannot doubt the guts and the heart of this young man as he has stood in there and taken some big punishment and still coming back for more.
Oh, and anything can happen in a fight, too. If you're not in there, Sam, you can't win. So he's giving it all he's got, and trying to, hopefully something will turn this thing around his way. But Byrd, in the meantime, seems very relaxed.
Byrd again had his own way against Darnell. You see that right hand as he keeps feeding it to him. Darnell thought he was comfortable pushing him against the ropes, and just when he got into a comfort zone, Byrd comes right back at him with a good combination. Doug Huntley, a very quiet speaking man, and lets him do what he has to do. Let's see what happens in round 6. Point of this 10-rounder on the undercard of the Virgil Hill Adolfo Washington WBA Light Heavyweight Championship today. And in the ring, Steve Darnell from Livonia, Michigan, red, white, and blue trunks, and Antoine Byrd in the aqua.
Credit Stevie Darnell. He's got Antoine Byrd holding a little bit here as it starts this round. Right.
Fight started out, Byrd took the first round, then a standing 8 count when Darnell was clearly in trouble. And going down, probably saved the opportunity for Darnell to continue to fight as he did. But from that time on, it has been Byrd pecking and slicing away on the face, as it appears now, of Stevie Darnell.
Byrd's got a great right jab there, but he really doesn't have much of a left hand coming behind it, Sam. Because he sure has stuck Stevie's head up in the air, straight up there.
You know, one of the things that he did, getting away from his amateur training, he wanted to try to add a little more power to his game. So he went and worked with Pinklin Thomas. And that was when he was going through those 3 losses. He wanted to stand and slug with very good punchers, and it just did not work out at all for him. Kind of went away from his boxing style, I think.
Yeah. He's a naturally gifted athlete, Byrd. He was an excellent high school football player there in the Cleveland area where they really take their football seriously. But, you know, it's hard. He started boxing later in life, and, you know, the style that he's got, the quickness and the natural athletic abilities that he has is what he's got to take advantage to. You can't turn him into a heavy-handed fighter. He probably got caught up in the transition a little bit of that.
Time call as the referee, Max Ball, wants to talk to both of these fighters. He just wants to get a good fight and entertain this crowd, certainly. He feels that both of them are holding and grabbing and clenching and doing things that don't make a good fight. And to the credit of Max Ball, he's trying to get an entertaining fight here. Thank you, Max.
They don't make a good fight, but they're very much a part of this business. And boxing cleanly on the outside is only going to do one thing in this fight, and that's what's happening to Stevie Darnell right now. He cannot box from the outside with this guy and expect to exchange punches.
Oh, big right hand by Byrd. Darnell staggering on his feet. He clinches to try to keep the punishment at a minimum. But Byrd clearly winging the right and left hands, and off the break he hits him with another right. The uppercut right, the combination right hand, and now a second standing 8 count. And And the crowd is booing the standing 8 because they would prefer to see it just go on in the round end, but for the safety of the fighter, that's why the standing 8 is in effect here in North Dakota.
The key point here is you don't see Stevie Darnell complain.
Not at all. I was just about to make the comment after Maxwell talked to him about, hey, let's fight. Stevie Darnell was not going to send him a thank you note, but now he may send one after that second standing 8.
No, Max's point was let's box cleanly from the outside, gentlemen, and really that can do Stevie Darnell absolutely no good here today.
So a clear 10-8 round on the standing 8 count, given again for the second time to Steve Darnell, and Doug Huntley working with his man in the corner here. And it was a rightly called standing 8 count, but I want to tell you, there was some punishment dished out. That right hand was big, Bob.
Yeah, that right hook's been finding its mark throughout the fight here, and it seems like once the ref made a point of breaking these guys, he gave Byrd a chance to really open up here with both guns.
So Byrd definitely has a green light to do whatever he needs to do to get this fight over, as they have fought through 6 solid rounds. And of course the 10-rounder. By the way, credit to Bill Benton, who's working that corner, and the man trying to take care of the pups and the bruises and the cuts across the way on Stevie Darnell.
Excellent job by Benton here to affect Stevie,
as he's kept him in this fight here this afternoon, as they head for the 7th round. Darnell in the red, white, and blue trunks against the aqua trunks of Antoine Byrd. Sam Smith along with Bob Spagnola. Cedric Kushner Sports Network in Fargo, North Dakota. These are light heavyweights, normal super middleweights. They came up a couple of pounds each to fight today. Matter of fact, Darnell even weighed in with his clothes on to get up to 171 and a half. I still didn't figure that out, but nonetheless, that's what he did.
and then he was arguing with us about really he was lighter. Oh, he caught the head there from Antoine Byrd right in the chin.
Now Max Bostic, still another warning for holding behind the head of Darnell, that head being long Byrd.
Stevie's trying to land the straight left hand. That's what they've been telling him, in the right hook afterwards when Byrd sits on those ropes. They'd like to see how he'd act if he could at least land that combination a couple of times. Just let it all hang out here. They've been imploring him, Brad Lowry and Bill Benton in the corner. For the first time in the fight, Stevie Darnell bends down at the knees a little bit and makes himself a little less of a target and lands a good straight left hand there.
May have been his best punch and the best combinations early in the fight. As Byrd, you can see that good quickness, just slipping punches in the corner. Good combination by Byrd. Darnell is almost out on his feet again. What an effort by Antoine Byrd against the charging Stevie Darnell.
Yeah, T. Byrd playing possum there a little bit, Sam. He let Stevie unload those guns a little bit, and he came out with about a 6-punch combination.
That was a marvelous display by Antoine Byrd. He took maybe the best combination Darnell had thrown on the ropes. You saw that he just went 4, 5, 6 punches underneath, and then the combination he fought, spun around, and got Darnell on the ropes. Nicely done by Antoine Byrd.
Anton really doesn't feel like he should be apologizing for much after the way he's been roughed up by Stevie Darnell, but I'm telling you something, there's not much more of a gamester you'll find on the fight circuit than Stevie Darnell. Come in on this fight short notice against a quick-handed guy like T. Byrd, world-rated fighter. He really has let it all hang out.
Life of 3 years, Layla watching back in Livonia, Michigan. And she's been quite an addition to his life.
Yeah, she's a beautiful woman and a real good girl for Stevie.
Hey, you know, he comes from a great family. His mom and dad are just super people, and with 11 brothers and sisters, 5 brothers, and they, of course, have all gone on to big, big things all across the board, and very supportive of Stevie Darnell.
And after raising 11 kids, they ended up with a baby like Stevie.
I tell you what, he is a game young man as the 7th round comes to a close. Good look at Antoine Byrd in his corner. Byrd is very successful again. Started quickly, couple of standing 8s. on his opponent, Darnell. And again, as Darnell tried to take the punch to him, got Byrd on the ropes. And what's his comeback here, Bob?
Yeah, Byrd's here holding, getting ready to set some things up here. Coming underneath everything, let Stevie shoot his punches, and then he comes in 1, 2.
Wow.
Little shoe shine, couple uppercuts. Oh, bolo punches.
That's some great fighting there. Great
Stevie
fighting.
trying to hold him. He pushes Stevie off.
So as Byrd continues to fight, so does this man, Stevie Darnell, as we head for the 8th round. Great view from overhead as the 8th round is getting underway at the beautiful brand new Fargodome here in Fargo, North Dakota. Stevie Darnell, a couple of standing 8 counts, have taken some big points away from him. But Antoine Byrd has really kind of showed him a lesson today. And Antoine has looked very sharp against the unorthodox Stevie Darnell. Darnell stalking. That's pretty much where Byrd wants us to be right now. He's going to relegate himself to counter here, Bob.
It is, but you know, Sam, a guy like Byrd, he's obviously in complete control of this fight. If he wants to inject himself into a world title picture, here's a perfect opportunity for him to really come out and try to do something to Stevie Darnell, which he started to do right there. Try to finish this fight impressively, let it all hang out.
Boy, he is really setting down on punches, his Byrd now. And credit to Darnell again, who may have had a little showboating, but he said, I got to get out of this for a moment. Ran away from Byrd and then turned to fight again. I think you're right at the money on Byrd, though. He's got to, this would have been a good showcase. We're shown around the world. Good opportunity under Dub Hundley to kind of show the new style, the new Antoine Byrd. He's showing well, but a big knockout here of Darnell, if he would pursue it, would really be a big bonus for him.
But he's in charge, he's fresh, he's got plenty of the gas to go, and he should really, you know, not cheat the fans here and give them what they all want, which is, 3 minutes a round. Not in here just, I mean, he's satisfied to make Stevie look bad.
Now, of course, some people will say, well, both fighters, I guess, being overweight, be a little out of shape. Not so. They're only a couple of pounds up from their normal 168.
And Stevie Darnell hadn't won a round in this fight, but he sure isn't short on the old ticker, Sam.
He looks to the referee, Max Ball, and says, well, which rule are we on now, Max? And it was for holding the glove underneath the arm of Stevie Darnell.
But if nothing else, Stevie's trying to fight. You know, he's trying to make a fight. He's trying to force the fight. And look at Byrd there with his hand holding the left hand there in the clinches, laying in there and smothering his punches. He's satisfied. He knows he's winning. He can't lose this fight, but he's got to do something more if he wants to take a step up.
None of the fighters will back up to the pay window today. They have earned their money, as Darnell has withstood the power and the damage of Antoine Byrd, and Byrd has shown you a new flash in what he calls his comeback at age 30.
Yeah, he's such an accurate fighter, Byrd, especially with that right hand.
Hey, break that hand. Come on. Let him go there. Let him go. Come on. Break out. Let's go there.
You can see Darnell just does not want to let Byrd get out of there. But yet he's kind of punched himself certainly out here in the 8th round. There's the bell. This is Antoine Byrd. Doug Hundley working with him. Not a lot of concern going on in that corner as Antoine Byrd is doing exactly what Dub Hundley wants him to do. Antoine Byrd sitting comfortably in his corner after a solid 8 rounds of boxing so far with 2 to go. If they go the distance in his light heavyweight fight today, a normal super middleweight, and Stevie Darnell is the reason that it has been a little bit of a fight here today. A game, gutsy fighter has done what he had to do to just literally stay in the fight as he gets ready to go to the 9th round of the scheduled 10-rounder today in Fargo, North Dakota. And there's the bell as we are underway in the 9th round. Darnell, again, a mass of Vaseline on the cheek, just over the eye. Bill Benton has done a marvelous job to keep those cuts from becoming more of a factor here in this fight.
You can see Stevie Darnell trying to pick up his feet off the ground a little bit, try to snap himself into this, and there's Byrd snapping him of it was about a big punch combination.
Big left hand by Byrd. Whirls him into a combination. Trying to step out and get some leverage room. Darnell trying to force him against the rope. Byrd is exactly where he wants to be to throw the punches.
Seems
up a little bit.
Seems anytime he wants to, Byrd can go in here and really inflict serious damage on Stevie Darnell.
I would imagine that after seeing 2 standing 8 counts, that Max Ball could be very close to calling another one in this round if Byrd continues to throw the punishment on Darnell he did just a moment ago. Darnell's going to clinch and hold to try to keep that from happening, though.
And Stevie's enough of a veteran where he'd rather have the referee complaining to him than be eating those kind of combinations by Byrd, so he's confident to wrestle with him in there and hold even when the referee's imploring him to break.
Doesn't take a brain surgeon to figure that one out, does it? Oh, good left hand that time by Darnell. Caught Byrd a little off guard.
Dead game, Stevie Darnell.
Wow.
No quitting that kid.
Back up, back up, back up.
Speaking of earning your money, Max Ball will certainly do that today, our 3rd man in the ring.
That's right, Max hasn't got a lot of respect here today, Sam.
Nor rest.
So,
Darnell just stalking Byrd.
but again, Byrd satisfied to, know that he's in complete control of the fight. He's got no will to try to finish this guy at all.
Big clean up.
Well, he's pretty much had a Nolan Ryan fastball going all day. He's got a shutout going here against Darnell, despite the 2 standing 8 count. The closest Darnell might have come to winning a round was a couple of rounds ago when you said he was trying to steal one there. Had Byrd trapped in the corner.
Yeah, I think that was the... Oh,
Darnell on his way down, and the referee Max Ball catches it. And this one is going to be not over yet. He's going to make the count.
that's it.
They throw in the towel. They throw in the towel. And this one is going to be over. The towel is in, and now here comes Brad Lally into it as he threw the towel, but Max Ball refused to accept the towel, finished the count, and was going to let him continue, and Brad not jumped into the ring.
Brad did the right thing.
Yeah.
Compassionate thing for Stevie Darnell there.
Let me say that maybe Max did not see the towel, but that certainly clearly ends the fight when the corner throws the towel in. You stop the count, the fight is over, and he went ahead, finished the count, and was really going to maybe let it continue before Brad intervened, and then the fight was called off. And it is good to see Darnell up and on his stool after a game, 8.5 rounds of fighting against the new Antoine Byrd. Good-looking fighter here today. So as Antoine Byrd gets ready to see if indeed this will do something to his emerging career, we'll find out in a moment. Where are you fighting? Well, you can take a good look at Steve Darnell. By the way, our Tavern Network up in Canada, we want to say hi to all you folks up there in Canada as well. It's great to have our Canadian viewers with us on Tavern Network, and my golly, we're getting more and more numbers up there, and if you've got a friend that owns a tavern throughout Canada, get us in there. We'd love to be there every month with our World Championship fighting here from the Cedric Kushner Sports Network. Let's take a look at that knockdown. Once again, came here in the 9th round. And you see that Darnell was the one that was taking the fight to Byrd, but the big, quick left hand is the one that got Darnell in trouble. You can see Max Ball literally held him up before he fell into the ropes. And let's take one other angle look at it, and there it was as he caught him with the left hand first, got a right hand, and came back with the left hand again. And it was all over for Darnell. Now, the count continued. The towel had come in. Again, Max may not have seen the towel. Let's give him credit for having his back to where the towel had fallen on the ring. And that would have automatically ended the fight. He continued the count, was holding on to see if Darnell was going to continue. And by that time, Brad Lally was racing across the ring, and he was intervening in between the referee and his fighter to officially stop it. And Antoine Byrd has just put on a marvelous display today. A little overweight at 107.5 pounds, but not really locked in on a weight. He's a normal super middleweight, but May, with 3 straight wins under coming back to Dub Huntley, has reemerged himself as a super middleweight guy that shows some quickness, speed, and good punchability in both his left and right hands. He's shown very, very well here today in Fargo, North Dakota. Good crowd looking on as they await the official announcement of the knockout here in the Fargodome in Fargo, North Dakota.
Come out to the ring, Byrd.
Well, Antoine Byrd gets a big win here today by knockout. Let's get the official time. Here again is John Hegre.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner at 2:26 of the 9th round, Antoine Byrd.
Antoine Byrd, big win today. Gets a win by a knockout. 22-4-1 with his 11th KO of his career. And this 30-year-old youngster again with Dub Huntley in his corner has an opportunity to move on to bigger and better things for him along the road after a win in Fargo. We'll continue with more right here as they look for more action here from the Fargo Dome.